Have you heard of peat? This is a piece of peat. In the past, it was a popular fire material because it burns really well. It mostly contains dead plant material that accumulates in bogs. There, under flooded conditions, the plant material is not decomposed, sometimes over millennia. Now, that's not the case anymore. Nowadays, 90% of European peat regions are drained for agriculture to produce food. And the problem is that if you drain peat, then oxygen gets to the plant material and it decomposes rapidly, leading to massive CO2 emissions. In the European Union, that's 5% of their greenhouse gas emissions. So we could stop these CO2 emissions quite easily by simply reflooding the peat. But there is one issue, like try to convince a farmer to flood their fields again when they have crops on it, because the crops would certainly drown. All the crops? No, there is one crop that thrives on flooded conditions, and that is rice. So we thought, but there is one problem with rice, and rice is notorious for its high methane emissions, another very strong greenhouse gas. So we were wondering, which situation is better, having drained peat with large CO2 emissions, or having peat that is re-wetted, so flooded with rice? Less CO2 emissions, but more methane emissions. Which one is better in terms of greenhouse gases? So we went to Agroscope Breckenholz. There we dug out peat from a drained agricultural site, put it in pots, flooded it outdoors, and grew rice. Then we measured CO2 and methane for a whole year with huge gas chambers to calculate the greenhouse gas balance, which takes into account that methane is 27 times stronger than CO2. And our results show that by flooding these peat soils again and putting rice on it can actually reduce the greenhouse gas balance by 36%. This reduction was so efficient that the increased methane emissions were actually not that important. They only accounted for like 8%. However, it's important to keep in mind this was an artificial mesocosm experiment, so we still need to test our results in the field. And nevertheless, we could show with our research that this could be a potential climate-friendlier solution to continue food production on peat soils in a more sustainable way. Thank you.